Are there any processes or things that you know have worked really well with product teams and design and customer experience?
Sure, I think there's doing opportunity assessments together with the team, where the team eventually, through the course of doing those, starts to do them on their own.
Hmm.
Not necessarily facilitated by the product owner, but saying, hey, we know our customers really well, we know the market really well, based on being a high performing team for a certain period of time, a mature team. Starting to assess what you can do for customers and how you innovate from a point of view that you know what's possible from a technology standpoint, or what's possible from a UX standpoint, where a customer will tell you a certain way or a certain thing they'll want to do, but they tell it from a point of view that they may not realize what's at your disposal or what's possible to do.
Hmm.
And I think that's a great way to work. I think there are other techniques to find out what are the right things to build, like story mapping.
Hmm.
That's something that people are doing as of late.
Can you explain at a high level what story mapping is?
Sure. Story mapping is, instead of having what most people think of as a backlog, which is a long laundry list of things to build, it's really building a map of what the customer journey or the user journey is through an experience or your product.
Hmm.
And seeing, as Jeff Patton and David Hussman refer to it, what are the happy paths that someone takes through your application.
Hmm.
So you look at that from a view of a persona, someone who may be a project manager. You could also look at it from the point of view of maybe a chief marketing officer. And if you think of the paths they take through a product, they're very different.
Hmm.
They're looking for very different things. They'll interact with very different things. But it's really from that customer point of view, what are their goals and what are their activities? And how do you map those out in a very fluid nature where it's a great experience?
And can you build for both of them at the same time, or do you prioritize one persona over the other?
You should know who the largest percentage of users on your product or your application are. It is hard to only build for one of those. If you have like an ecosystem that, let's say an enterprise-wide application, there are lots of people, lots of levels and roles that are using that at once, so you have to find a sweet spot.
Hmm.
And I think when you map through the experience for each one of those people, you'll see that there's overlap in what you need to build, that some people need to do both things, or they need to collaborate around a set of features or content a certain way. So it helps kind of pull together what is your first release and then what subsequently could happen in the following sprint.
And you mentioned opportunity assessments. Can you walk through what an opportunity assessment is and
Sure.
what you do in order to, like, is it similar to a SWOT analysis that that you might do, or is it something different?
So I heard around what an opportunity assessment is from Marty Kagan years ago. It's what problem are we solving? Why are we solving it now, as opposed to some other point in time, maybe later in the year or when your application is more mature? What does success look like for the customer? What are the KPIs for you internally? Why are you the best team to tackle that?
Yeah.
And you use that to prioritize over other things. If you have an organization that has several products, or the product itself is multifaceted, how they all tie together and what you need to build first or in what order.